This is Motorola's first foldable phone, the Razr Fold. Now, Moto's been working with flexible display for years. Until now, they've stuck to the flip form factor. Not anymore though, and honestly, this feels less like Motorola's first foldable and more like their take on fixing what's wrong with foldables. Now, before we take a closer look, if this is your first time here or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, you're watching C4eTech, and let's get started. Motorola, at least in India, offers quite a lot in the box. Of course, you get the Razr Fold, leaflets, SIM tool and a Type-C cable, but you also get a protective case and a 90-watt charger in the box. This is in stark contrast to the anemic contents we usually see in this segment. Anyways, pick up the Razr Fold and it feels very nice in hand. This phone's just 4.7mm thick and folded and weighs about what an iPhone 17 Pro Max would with a case on. It's quite well built, brushed metal edges, textured back that allows for improved ergonomics and refuses to pick up fingerprints. The hinge is aircraft-grade steel with a titanium reinforcement plate. I particularly liked how the corners are curved. Feels much nicer to hold than, say, the box sharp edges you'd get with something like the Z Fold 7. Speaking of which, Moto even ups the protection with an IP48, IP49 rating here, and there's smart water touch, so you can use the Razr Fold when the screen's wet. Now this colorway, Motorola calls it Pantone Black and Blue, and they also offer this, Pantone Lily White. While not as textured, this one's also very resistant to fingerprints. Now the back here looks very typically Motorola. In fact, the camera array is straight out of the Moto Signature. It's large, it's got that curve, and yes, it juts out, but given how large it is, the phone doesn't really wobble all that much when you set it down on a surface and use it. Now, of course, if you use the phone unfolded, like all foldables, it's gonna wobble like a bitch. Guys, this camera array, there's something I absolutely love about this. Because usually it feels like brands, they make you make a hard choice when you go for a foldable. Like, it seems like they're telling you, if you want the best cameras we have to offer, buy our candy bar flagship. But if you want a foldable, yeah, you're gonna have to pay more, but you're also gonna have to take a hit with the optics. Now, Motorola isn't doing any of that. Now, the reason why this camera array looks like the one that we saw on the Signature is because it is the one from the Signature. It's the exact same three sensors, which is probably why the Razr Fold sits right at the top of DxOMark rankings for foldables. Now, in case you missed my Motorola Signature coverage, all three cameras are 50 megapixels. The primary is Sony's Light A28, a large 1x1.28 inch sensor paired with an f1.6 lens. It does great, especially with dynamic range and under low light. See, here are side-by-sides with the Z Fold 7 under low light. Now the difference in performance, it's even more stark when you actually shoot video. The footage shot by the Razr is noticeably cleaner with much lower noise. The secondary is another Sony sensor, the Light 600, paired with a 3x telephoto lens with OIS. It's quite good for portraits. And then there's the ultra-wide, 50 megapixels again. Now the lens here supports autofocus, so it can pull double duty for macros. Video tops out at 8K 30, you can shoot 4K 60 Dolby Vision via all three sensors. For selfies, the 32 megapixel on the inside does 4K 60, while the 20 megapixel on the outside maxes out at 1080 60. Now these selfie cameras are serviceable, but I don't really see why you're going to be using them for anything except video calls, because one of the best parts of using a foldable is being able to make use of those rear cameras for selfies. By the way, fan favorite features like horizon lock to give you stable video no matter how you move your phone, frame match to get someone else to shoot you in the exact frame you want, AI signature style, and even the quick twist to launch camera shortcut, they're all present and accounted for. Additionally, you can set an animation on the cover screen to capture attention or just mirror the viewfinder to show the subject how you're framing them. Also, the Razr Fold's hinge supports being open at a wide variety of angles, so you can play around with it if you're shooting yourself. And when you are doing this, the interface also changes. Motorola provides this kind of laptop mode for a bunch of apps. There's also a desk display option to have the fold show the clock, weather or notifications when the phone's in tent mode or the stand position. By the way, the Type-C port here supports video out and all Smart Connect features including a desktop mode are available to use on external displays. And well, this phone's own displays add a huge positive too. On the outside, this cover panel, it's the first one to use Corning's latest Gorilla Glass Ceramic 3. When you look at the spec sheet, at first glance, it reads quite similarly to what other phones in the segment have to offer, but the refresh rate, it goes up to 165Hz, and this panel is also brighter and most importantly, slightly larger. Guys, usually 0.1 inches doesn't make a huge difference, but honestly, typing on the screen, that slightly increased width of the keyboard, to me, it feels a lot better. It feels almost as natural as typing on any regular candy bar phone. Now, open it up and we have an almost square panel. Let's call the resolution 2K. Again, it's slightly larger than what you'd get on the Z Fold 7, though here that doesn't make a major difference. Do note that the Razr's panel is sharper and again, brighter. The crease is very minimal, you don't really notice it in the day-to-day. Now with foldables, it's all about taking advantage of all this screen real estate on offer, and Motorola has done a good job at that. A slow swipe brings up the taskbar. You can drag and drop to multitask, you can have up to 3 apps open side by side, and also have a whole bunch of freeform windows open. I mean, this looks ridiculous, but the fact that you can do this is awesome. Now software, basically Hello UI on top of Android 16, and the regular Moto features including Moto AI return, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, all accounted for. I like Motorola's gestures too. 3 fingers up or to the side to split the screen, 3 fingers down for a screenshot, chop chop to turn the flashlight on or off. There's also app continuity, so you get to choose how the phone reacts when you close or open it up. Good stuff. So the user experience here, it doesn't feel first gen-ish at all. In fact, it feels very refined, and Motorola is promising 7 years of Android version updates and security patches, which is best in class. Under the hood, like with the Signature, Motorola has chosen to go with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5, not the 8 Elite Gen 5, but the 8 Gen 5. And they've paired it with LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 4.1 storage. So compared to something like the 8 Elite on the Z Fold 7, the GPU here does run a tad slower, but keep in mind foldables are thin phones, so sustained performance is never really their forte. On a 20-minute stress test, if you see the first loop score for the 8 Elite on the Z Fold 7 is about 10% better. But through that 20 minutes, you see the Razr Fold running better. By the end, it's actually got 20% more performance. Hence the higher stability. And there's not a whole lot of difference with the thermals either. So while something like the Z Fold does better in shorter bursts, the Razr Fold's gotta be a pick for longer gaming sessions, which is something you might wanna do given Motorola's included a 6000 mAh silicon carbon battery here. And even with charging, 80 watts wired, 50 watt wireless, so this phone, it charges twice as fast wirelessly as the Z Fold 7 does wired. Insane, right? Now, although I don't have it with me, the Razr Fold does support the Moto Pen Ultra on both screens. Personally, I don't really sketch or take notes a lot. In fact, I think the coolest part of the Moto Pen Ultra is double tapping it on any surface lets you take a screenshot. I just feel it's kind of weird to see a first gen Moto foldable have stylus support in a year where Samsung doesn't have it. Anyways, moving on, pricing, the Razr Fold starts at $139,999 with bank offers, and Motorola are also offering a one-time free screen replacement for a year. For that price, you need to get a lot, right? And Motorola kinda seems to have done that. For a first generation foldable, the Razr Fold feels ridiculously polished, and honestly, it feels like one of the most complete foldables on the market today. But that's just me. What do you think? Drop a comment down below. And I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Ash out.